The envelope appears on my bunk during breakfast count. No one saw it arrive. No one admits to placing it there. But there it sits, white, unmarked, impossibly crisp against the gray wool blanket that smells like decades of other women's fear. I don't touch it immediately. In Lakewood Correctional, things that appear uninvited are never gifts. They're tests, threats, transactions you never agreed to but will pay for regardless. My cellmate, Rivera, notices it the moment we're released from count. Her eyes flick from the envelope to my face, searching for recognition I don't give her. She's been down 8 years to my 3 months. She knows the language of this place, the grammar of violence, the syntax of survival. I'm still learning the alphabet. You gonna open that? Her voice is casual, but her body has shifted. Imperceptibly closer to her side of the cell, farther from whatever that envelope represents. My hand trembles as I reach for it. The paper is expensive. Real stationery, not prison commissary trash. My fingerprints leave slight moisture marks on the surface. Inside, a single photograph and 3 words written in elegant script. The photo shows my daughter, Sadie, age 7, standing outside her school, backpack too big for her small frame, that gap-toothed smile I haven't seen except through reinforced glass. The words, "She looks happy." I met Laura Keating my second day inside. Not met, was assigned to her. My prison job, they called it. Personal assistant to the library coordinator. It sounded harmless in classification. Organize books, process requests, help inmates with research for their appeals. What they didn't tell me was that Laura Keating had been the prison librarian for 14 years. That she'd been an inmate for 12 years before that. That the library wasn't just a room with books, it was a kingdom, and Laura was the queen who decided what information flowed and what information died. She's in her late 50s, gray hair pulled back so tight it stretches her face into a permanent expression of mild disappointment. She wears her state-issue uniform like it was tailored for her. Press. She irons creases into her pants that could cut paper. "You're the new girl," she said that first day, not looking up from her catalog cards. Yes, actual catalog cards. She refused to use the computer system. The one with the little girl. I froze. In prison, information is currency. The fact that she knew about Sadie meant someone had told her. And if someone had told her, they wanted her to know. "My daughter's name is Sadie," I said carefully. "She's 7. I know." Laura finally looked up. Her eyes were the color of freezer burn. "I know she lives with your sister in Parkview. I know she attends Oakmont Elementary. I know her teacher's name is Mrs. Chin, and she's struggling with multiplication tables." The room tilted. The air got thick. "How?" "Information is what I do, Miss Torres. You'll learn that." She returned to her catalog cards, dismissing me with the gesture. "You'll organize the returned books. Alphabetically. By author, not title. Make a mistake, you'll stay late and fix it." For 3 weeks I organized books. I learned the rhythm of the library. Learned which inmates came for actual reading and which came to pass messages, exchange contraband, make deals in the stacks where cameras didn't quite reach. I learned that Laura saw everything, knew everything, and controlled everything. And I learned to be invisible. The envelope changed that. Rivera breaks the silence in our cell. "You need to tell someone." "Tell them what?" I'm still staring at my daughter's photo. "That someone sent me a picture of my kid? That's not against the rules. You know what it means." I do. In prison, everything means something. A photo of your child isn't a photo. It's a reminder of leverage. A demonstration of reach. A promise that the walls that hold you in don't protect the people you love. Who would even? Laura. Rivera says it like it's obvious. She's the only one who could get something like that past the mailroom. The only one who'd know enough to make it personal. I want to argue, but the logic is suffocating in its clarity. The paper quality. The timing. The specific knowledge of Sadie's current appearance, which would require recent surveillance. What does she want? Rivera's laugh is bitter. What do they always want? For you to carry something. Move something. Say something. Be something. This place runs on transactions, Torres. You just got your invitation to trade. Laura doesn't mention the envelope for 3 days. Those days are worse than if she'd made her demand immediately. I catalog books with shaking hands. I avoid eye contact. I replay every interaction we've had, searching for the moment I became useful to her. The library fills with the usual traffic. Martinez comes in for her GED materials. Thompson requests law books for her appeal, the same appeal she's been working on for 6 years. Young girls barely out of their teens huddle in the corner with romance novels, escaping into worlds where choices still exist. I watch Laura watch them all, taking inventory, calculating value. On the fourth day she speaks. "You're Catholic, aren't you, Miss Torres?" The question comes while I'm shelving return cart 7. My hands freeze on a worn copy of The Count of Monte Cristo. I was raised Catholic, yes. Confession. Penance. Absolution. Laura doesn't look up from her desk. Beautiful system. You acknowledge your sin, accept your punishment, earn your redemption. Clean transaction. My pulse hammers in my ears. I suppose. Your daughter. Sadie. Now she looks at me. She's at that age where she still believes her mother is good. Innocent. Worth waiting for. The book slips from my hands. It hits the concrete floor with a sound like a gavel. What do you want? Laura smiles. It's the first time I've seen her smile. It doesn't reach her eyes. Wednesdays. You deliver books to the segregation unit. The women in isolation. She slides a piece of paper across her desk. Next Wednesday, you'll receive a special request from inmate 84729. Harris Keisha. She'll ask for The Brothers Karamazov. You'll bring her Crime and Punishment instead. I stare at the paper. It's a book request form, standard prison issue. That's it? I bring her the wrong book. The books will be identical on the outside, different on the inside. Laura's voice drops to barely above a whisper. You don't look inside. You don't ask questions. You deliver the book, you return with the old one, and you forget it happened. And if I say no? The smile vanishes. Then Wednesday afternoon, your sister receives a visit from Child Protective Services. Anonymous tip about her fitness to care for Sadie. Drug paraphernalia found in her home, which is strange since she doesn't use drugs. But the paraphernalia will be there. It will be found. And Sadie will enter the foster system while it's all sorted out. My knees nearly give out. I grab the shelf for support. You can't. I can. I will. Laura returns to her catalog cards like we're discussing weather. Or you can do this one small thing. Bring a woman a book. Simple. Easy. Over in 5 minutes. And Sadie stays safe with her aunt. Continues at her school. Keeps believing her mother is worth loving. The library suddenly feels smaller. The walls closer. The air thinner. How do I know you'll stop after this? You don't. The honesty is somehow worse than a lie would be. I think about my sister, Maria. She's already sacrificed so much to take Sadie in. Gave up her 1-bedroom apartment for a 2-bedroom she can barely afford. Changed her work schedule to handle school pickup. Became a mother to my daughter because I couldn't be. I think about Sadie asking why mommy can't come home. Maria saying, soon baby. Soon. Both of them knowing it's not true but pretending anyway. I think about foster care. About my 7-year-old daughter learning that the world is not safe. That mothers disappear. That no one stays. What's really in the book? Laura finally looks up, and for the first time, I see something almost like respect in her freezer-burn eyes. Something that needs to move. That's all you need to know. The less you know, Miss Torres, the safer you are. In here, ignorance isn't bliss, it's survival. Act 2 continued. The Mechanics of Compromise 23:45-32:20. Wednesday arrives with the weight of inevitability. I wake at 5:30 to the sound of count. The guard's boots echo down the tier. Stand up. State your name. Face the door. Torres. 97,834. The guard marks her clipboard without looking at me. I am a number that breathes. Nothing more. Rivera says nothing as we dress. But I catch her watching me in the reflection of our small mirror. Her expression is carefully neutral, the prison version of sympathy. We all make compromises here. The only question is what we get in return. Breakfast is powdered eggs and bread. I can't eat. My stomach is a fist clenching tighter with every minute that passes. The library opens at 8. Laura is already there, of course. She's always there first. On my desk, 2 books. Both Dostoevsky. Both look identical, worn covers, yellowed pages, the kind of books that have passed through 1,000 hands. But one is heavier. Just slightly. Enough that you'd notice if you were looking for it. Cart 6, Laura says without preamble. Segregation unit. Deliver by 10:00 hours. Back by 10:30. I pick up the heavier book. Crime and Punishment. The irony isn't lost on me. The walk to segregation takes 12 minutes. I count every step. Through the main corridor, past the cafeteria where breakfast cleanup is happening. The smell of industrial bleach makes my eyes water. Through the checkpoint where Officer Daniels barely glances at my ID. Down the stairs to the basement level where they keep the women who are too dangerous or too vulnerable for general population. The segregation unit is its own kind of hell. 23 hours a day in cells barely bigger than a closet. 1 hour of recreation in a cage. No human contact except guards and the book delivery girl. Which is why it's perfect for moving contraband. I understand the logistics now. The women in seg are invisible. Forgotten. No one watches them closely because they're already in maximum security. What could they possibly do? But invisible doesn't mean powerless. It means free to operate in the shadows. Officer Martinez runs the seg unit day shift. She's young, maybe 25. Been on the job less than a year. Still believes in rehabilitation and second chances. She smiles when she sees me. Book delivery. These ladies love you, Torres. You're like the highlight of their week. Guilt crawls up my throat. Just doing my job. Well, it matters. Trust me. She unlocks the first cell. 15 minutes, then I need you out. Policy. I nod and push my cart down the narrow hallway. Doors on either side, small windows with wire-reinforced glass. Faces appear in the windows. Some curious, some dead-eyed. Some so desperate for human interaction they press against the glass like it might break. Cell 84729 is at the end. Keisha Harris. I've seen her before in passing. Tall. Dark skin covered in scars that look like her life was written on her body in violence. She's been in seg for 3 months. I don't know why. In prison you learn not to ask. She's waiting at her door when I arrive. Got my book? Her voice is rough like gravel and cigarettes. Yeah. Crime and Punishment. My favorite. She takes the book through the slot used for food trays. Our fingers don't touch. You got the other Dostoevsky there? Brothers Karamazov? I'm done with it. She slides the other book back through the slot. The exchange takes 15 seconds. It's done. I push my cart back down the hallway, past the other cells, past the faces that watch me like I'm something from another world. Officer Martinez is waiting at the entrance. All good. All good. She unlocks the door and I step back into the main prison. The air feels different. Heavier. Or maybe I'm different. Heavier. Laura is waiting when I return to the library. She takes the book I brought back without a word. Slides it into her desk drawer. Locks it. Good work, Miss Torres. I'll let you know when I need you again. Not if. When. 2 weeks pass. I try to pretend the book delivery never happened. That I'm still the person who arrived at Lakewood 3 months ago. Scared, naive, still believing that keeping your head down and following the rules would protect you. But prison doesn't work that way. Prison is a machine that grinds you down until you fit the shape it needs. Until your moral boundaries are so eroded that you barely notice when you cross them. I call Sadie every Sunday. Collect calls, 15 minutes, her voice tiny and far away. Mommy, I got a gold star in math. That's amazing, baby. I'm so proud. When are you coming home? Soon, sweetheart. Soon. The lie gets easier every time I tell it. After the call, I sit on my bunk and stare at the photograph Laura sent me. Sadie's gap-toothed smile. Her too big backpack. The school in the background, Oakmont Elementary, where she should be safe. Should be. Rivera watches me from her bunk. Finally speaks. You know it's not going to stop, right? I know. Every time you do something for her, you belong to her a little more. Until one day you realize you don't exist anymore. You're just a tool she uses. What am I supposed to do? My voice cracks. She has access to my daughter. My sister. My whole life outside these walls. So do the guards. So does the warden. So does everyone with a computer and a phone. Rivera sits up. The question isn't who has power over you. Everyone does. The question is what you're willing to become to protect what you love. Before I can respond, Officer Chin appears at our cell. Torres. Library. Now. It's 9 p.m. The library closed at 6. Rivera's eyes meet mine. We both know what this means. I follow Officer Chin through the empty corridors. The prison at night is different. Quieter. More honest about what it is. A warehouse for broken people locked away from a world that doesn't want to think about them. The library lights are on. Laura stands in the center, surrounded by boxes. Close the door, Officer Chin. Chin hesitates. I'm supposed to. Close the door. Wait outside. Miss Torres and I need to have a private conversation about her work performance. Chin looks at me. I nod. What choice do I have? The door closes. The lock clicks. Laura gestures to the boxes. Open them. I approach slowly. 6 boxes, cardboard, unmarked. I open the first one. Books. Dozens of them. These need to be distributed, Laura says. Different inmates, different units, all within the next week. I open another box. More books. I start to understand. How much? How much what? How much contraband are you moving through this library? Laura's smile is cold. Enough to make me indispensable. To the inmates who need what I provide. To the administration who pretends not to notice. To the guards who get their cut. This prison runs on underground economy, Miss Torres. I'm just the banker. And if I refuse? Then tomorrow morning your sister wakes up to find her apartment has been broken into. Nothing stolen. But Sadie's bedroom window is open. A message left on her pillow. Laura steps closer. Do you understand what I'm telling you? My hands shake so badly I can barely close the box. You'd hurt a child? I wouldn't. But the people I work with? They don't have my scruples. She returns to her desk, sits down like we're discussing library policy. You think I'm the monster here. But I'm not the one who put you in this position. You did that when you made the choices that brought you to Lakewood. When you decided your freedom was worth more than your daughter's security. The words hit like a physical blow. I was set up. My case. Everyone here was set up. Everyone here is innocent. Everyone here has a sad story. Laura's voice turns sharp. But you're still here. And your daughter is still out there. And you will protect her by doing what needs to be done. Or you'll lose her trying to maintain a morality that died the moment you put on state-issue clothes. I think about Sadie. About the gap-toothed smile I haven't seen in person for 3 months. About her asking when mommy is coming home. I think about my sister Maria, who didn't ask for this burden but carries it anyway. I think about the woman I was before Lakewood. The woman who believed in rules and justice and the fundamental fairness of the world. That woman is gone. What do you need me to do? The distribution schedule is efficient. Brutal. Perfect. 6 boxes. 42 books. Spread across 4 housing units and the segregation block. Each book hollowed out, filled with whatever Laura's network is moving. Pills, I assume. Maybe phones. Small electronics. Information on paper. Things that make life in prison bearable or profitable or survivable. I become a delivery system. A cog in Laura's machine. Monday, Housing Unit C. I deliver books to 5 inmates who specifically requested titles. Thompson gets To Kill a Mockingbird. She doesn't read it. Just takes it to her cell and returns it the next day lighter than when I gave it to her. Tuesday, Housing Unit A. Rodriguez and Chin. Legal thrillers. They thank me with smiles that don't reach their eyes. Wednesday, back to segregation. Keisha Harris again. This time it's The Great Gatsby. She takes it without speaking. Returns last week's book, Crime and Punishment, now empty of whatever it once contained. Thursday, medical unit. 2 inmates recovering from surgery. Romance novels. The covers are creased from previous readers. The contents are anything but romantic. Friday, the chapel. This one surprises me. Sister Margaret runs the chapel program. She's not a real nun, never took vows, but everyone calls her sister anyway. She's been incarcerated for 16 years for killing her husband. Self-defense, she says. The jury disagreed. She's in her 60s now. Gray hair, kind eyes, and hands that shake from some illness the prison medical staff can't quite diagnose. Or won't treat. It's hard to tell the difference. Torres, how lovely to see you. She's arranging hymnals in the small chapel space. Did you bring my book? I hand her Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. It's heavier than it should be. Sister Margaret's smile falters. Just for a moment. Then returns brighter. Thank you, dear. Would you stay for a moment? I'd love to talk about faith with someone. It's not a request. Officer Mahmoud, who escorted me to the chapel, checks his watch. 5 minutes, Torres. Then we gotta move. Sister Margaret waits until he steps outside. Then her smile disappears entirely. You know what you're doing? Her voice is quiet. What, Laura, has you moving? I try not to think about it. That's not good enough. She sets the book down on the altar. The incongruity is stunning. Contraband on the Lord's table. I know you have a daughter. Laura told me. She tells everyone. Uses it like a weapon. Then you understand. I understand desperation. I understand impossible choices. I killed a man because I ran out of choices. She looks at me with those kind eyes that have seen too much. But understanding doesn't make it right. It just makes it comprehensible. What do you want me to do? Say no and let her destroy my family? I want you to know the cost. Really know it. Sister Margaret opens the book. Inside, carved into the pages, are dozens of small packages. Pills. Blue and white. These are going to women who are addicted. Who will overdose if they take too many. Who will die in cells alone because guards don't check often enough. My stomach turns. I didn't know. Yes, you did. You knew you were moving something bad. You just chose not to know the details. That's how people like Laura operate. They let you tell yourself comfortable lies. I'm just delivering books. I'm not responsible for what's in them. I'm protecting my daughter. She closes the book, hands it back to me. I'll take this. Because I'm complicit too. Because we're all complicit in this place. But don't pretend you don't know, Torres. Don't give yourself that mercy. I deliver the last of the books by Friday evening. 6 boxes. 42 transactions. 42 times I chose my daughter over someone else's child. Someone else's sister. Someone else's life. Laura's pleased. Efficient work, Miss Torres. Same time next week. I'll have another shipment ready. How long does this go on? Until you're released. Or until I don't need you anymore. Whichever comes first. She files papers with meticulous precision. Your sentence is 5 years, correct? With good behavior, maybe 3. That's approximately 140 weeks. Times 40 books per week. Roughly 5,800 deliveries. The number is staggering. You've done this calculation before. I do it for everyone who works for me. Helps them understand the scope of their commitment. I lean against a bookshelf. My legs feel weak. And if I stop? We've been through this. But what if I tell someone? The warden. The guards. The FBI. Laura actually laughs. It's a terrible sound. Tell them what? That the prison librarian is moving contraband through books? They'll investigate. Find nothing. My supply chain is airtight. My sources are protected. My customers are loyal because I provide a service they desperately need. She stands, walks to where I'm standing. And while they're investigating, your daughter has an accident. Nothing fatal. Just enough to remind you that threats aren't theoretical. She's close enough that I can smell her. Soap and paper and something metallic underneath. You're not the first person to think they can outsmart me, Torres. You won't be the last. But you'll learn the same lesson they all did. In here there is no escape. There is only survival. And survival requires compromise. That night I don't sleep. I lie in my bunk and stare at the ceiling and do the impossible mathematics of moral weight. How many addicts will relapse because of the pills I delivered? How many women will overdose? How many families will get the phone call saying their mother, their sister, their daughter is dead? And on the other side of the equation, Sadie, safe, alive, smiling her gap-toothed smile and getting gold stars in math. One child versus how many others? How does a person calculate that? How does a person live with that? Rivera's voice comes from the darkness. You thinking about running? Where would I go? Not physically. I mean telling. Breaking the chain. I roll over to face her bunk. In the dim emergency lighting, I can barely make out her shape. Would you? If you had a kid on the outside. She's quiet for a long time. I do have a kid. Son. He's 12 now. I haven't seen him in 3 years. His father won't bring him to visit. Says prison is no place for a child. I didn't know. Why would you? We don't talk about what we've lost. Easier to pretend we didn't have lives before this. She shifts in her bunk. When I first got here, someone tried to recruit me too. Different operation. Same leverage. My son. What did you do? I told them no. Figured I'd rather be a criminal who doesn't exploit others than a mother who teaches her son that anything is justified if you love someone enough. The words hang in the air between us. What happened? They made good on their threat. Vandalized my ex's car. Spray painted some ugly stuff. Scared my son half to death. Her voice is flat, reciting facts. But they couldn't make me do what I wouldn't do. Eventually they moved on to someone else. Someone weaker. You think I'm weak? I think you're human. I think you love your daughter more than you love your principles. That's not weakness. It's just the truth. Sunday morning. Phone call day. I wait in line with the other women, clutching my 15 minutes of connection to the world outside. When my turn comes, I dial Maria's number with shaking hands. Hello. It's me. Oh, thank God. Sadie's been asking about you all week. There's a pause, then my daughter's voice. Mommy? Hi, baby. How was your week? Good. I got another gold star. And we're learning about butterflies in science. I close my eyes. Memorize her voice. The enthusiasm. The innocence. That's wonderful, sweetheart. Tell me about the butterflies. She launches into a 7-year-old's explanation of metamorphosis. Caterpillars becoming something completely different. Transformation as survival strategy. The metaphor isn't lost on me. Mommy, Aunt Maria says you're going to be home soon. Is that true? The question I can't answer honestly. The lie I tell every week. But this time something shifts. I think about the pills in the hollowed-out books. About the women who will take them and spiral deeper into addiction. About the families who will lose mothers, daughters, sisters. I think about Sadie 12 years from now asking how Mommy survived prison. What I did to get through it. Whether I stayed the person she believed I was. I think about Rivera, who chose her principles over her fear. Who lost something precious but kept something more important. Baby, listen to me. Mommy loves you so much. More than anything in the world. I love you too. And because I love you, I need to be the kind of person you can be proud of. Even if it's hard. Even if it takes longer than we want. Maria's voice cuts in. What are you talking about? Put Sadie back on. Mommy? I want you to remember something. Being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means doing the right thing even when you're terrified. Can you remember that? Okay. She sounds confused. Are you okay, Mommy? I will be, baby. I promise. The timer beeps. 15 minutes used. I love you, Sadie. Tell Aunt Maria I love her too. Love you, Mommy. The line goes dead. I hang up the phone and walk back to my cell. Rivera is there reading a book. She looks up when I enter. You okay? No. I sit on my bunk. But I'm about to be. Monday morning I walk into the library. Laura is already there, catalog cards spread across her desk. Another shipment sits in boxes against the wall. Right on time. We have 80 books this week. I'll need them distributed by... No. Laura looks up. Slowly. Excuse me? I won't do it anymore. The temperature in the room drops. Laura sets down her pen with careful precision. We discussed the consequences. I know. Your daughter will learn that her mother chose to be someone worth respecting. Even if it costs me everything. Laura stands. Walks around her desk. Studies me like I'm a catalog card she can't quite categorize. You understand what you're doing? What will happen? I understand I can't control what you do. I can only control what I do. My voice is steadier than I expected. And I won't be your delivery system anymore. You're willing to sacrifice your daughter for your conscience? I'm willing to show my daughter that some things matter more than fear. Laura's face hardens. You'll regret this. Probably. But I'll regret the alternative more. She returns to her desk. Picks up the phone. Dials. It's me. Torres is out. Proceed with the contingency. She hangs up. Looks at me. By Wednesday, your sister will have CPS at her door. By Friday, Sadie will be in foster placement. By next month, you'll be begging me to let you back in. Maybe. But maybe not. Maybe there are other mothers in here who will see what I did and find their own courage. Maybe your network is only strong because people believe they have no choice. Maybe I just gave them one. Laura's smile is cold. We'll see. 3 days later, CPS shows up at Maria's apartment. She calls to tell me during our Sunday phone call. Her voice is shaking. They searched everything. Asked Sadie questions. It was terrifying. I'm so sorry. But they didn't find anything. No drugs. No paraphernalia. No evidence of neglect. She laughs, high and nervous. It's like someone called in a false report but forgot to plant the evidence. I close my eyes. Rivera's words echo. Maybe your network is only strong because people believe they have no choice. Laura's network didn't plant evidence because they couldn't operate that overtly. Their power relied on fear and shadow. Brought into the light, examined by authorities, it evaporated. So Sadie's okay? She's scared but okay. She keeps asking about you. Tell her Mommy is being brave. Tell her I love her. I will. I return to my cell. Rivera is waiting. I heard Laura put you on report. Insubordination. They're moving you to a different work assignment. I know. Was it worth it? I think about the mathematics. One daughter saved versus how many addicts spared. How many families not destroyed. How many women who might see my small act of resistance and find their own. The equation still doesn't balance. Maybe it never will. But I can live with the debt now. Ask me again in 5 years. When Sadie visits and looks at me like I'm still her mother. Still someone worth believing in. Rivera nods. Returns to her book. Outside our cell, the prison grinds on. Transactions happening in shadows. Compromises being made. Souls being measured and weighed and found wanting. But in this cell, on this bunk, I am still myself. Still Sadie's mother. Still choosing, every day, what kind of person I will become in this place that wants to make me into something I'm not. The envelope with Sadie's photo still sits in my drawer. I take it out one last time. Look at her gap-toothed smile. Her too big backpack. The innocence I'm fighting to preserve. Then I tear the photo into small pieces. Not because I don't love her, but because I do. And love, real love, means being someone she can respect when she's old enough to understand what choices her mother had to make. The pieces flutter into the toilet. I flush them away. Outside, in the prison yard, someone is screaming. Guards are running. The machine grinds on. But in here, in this moment, I am free. Not from the prison. From the person I was becoming. And that, I'm learning, is the only freedom that matters.